Hello and welcome. Today we've got holistic nutritionist Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. And today we are going to be discussing the digital surveillance on medical enslavement and what that looks like. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to my Instagram channel at Nicholas Veniamin, at nicholas.veniamin, where you can follow all my daily news reels. Tammy, thank you so much for joining me. How are you and what have you been up to?
Hi, Nicholas. It's so nice to meet you. Wow, what have I been up to? Well, it's been a rough 4.5 years, I think, for most people. So I've been trying to help connect people to real solutions for their health. That's what I've been up to. Been doing that a number of ways. So been keeping pretty busy.
Of course, absolutely. And that's a very big topic now because we're all sick and tired of mainstream, healthcare. And we're all starting to realize that it's just not working for us. It's killing us very slowly whilst we're making, the owners of Big Pharma very, very rich. And now we want to take, that responsibility back in our hands and be responsible and in control of our own health. And I'm suspecting that's what you're advocating for today.
That's exactly it, Nicholas. And it's been a long time coming, I think. I first became aware of the issues with Big Pharma way back in, gosh, I think it was 2006. 2006, we experienced a terrible thing where my son was injured by a vaccine. And that led us to kind of down the path to the more organic living lifestyle. I realized as a parent, I shouldn't be putting all my trust in someone else when it comes to my children's health. And we all do it. We all do it, right? When we have a baby, we go to the doctor and we say, tell us what to do. Tell us what to do. I'll do whatever it is because I want this baby to be healthy. But what I found was the results I was getting when I did that weren't very good. In fact, my son's life was put in jeopardy due to that medical intervention. So then I went down the path to try to learn what I could do as a mother to take control of my family and my own health. And what I learned was empowering, to say the least. I started to look at our bodies as being a whole lot more capable and strong and actually just so resilient than what I had been led to believe. I had been led to believe that we were kind of weak, that we had to worry about our genetics, that we had to worry about every little thing and that we were vulnerable. And that couldn't be more farther from the truth. The truth is we are resilient. And when we give the body what it needs, we can be healthy. So I started doing that for many years and I got fantastic results. My family never had to go to the doctor. My children never even needed antibiotics because they were so healthy. They rarely got sick. And I thought, wow, I want to spread this message to more people so that they can understand how to curate health in their own bodies and not be so reliant. And then when COVID hit, things really changed and it amped up, as you could
Yeah.
imagine.
So before we get into the what's happening now with the digital surveillance on medical enslavement,
Yeah.
let's talk about, what is it that you discovered that our bodies were very resilient, and what protocols do you follow now in order to get those great results that you've learned over the years?
Yeah. So the first thing we need to recognize is that we're all individuals. And what the allopathic model tends to do is treat us all the same. Oh, if it's good for this person, it must be good for that person. Not so much. Not so much. Our genetics, they will have you believe that once you get dealt a certain hand of cards, and those are your genetics, and that's what you have to deal with. If grandma had cancer, you're going to have cancer. If grandpa had Alzheimer's, you're going to have Alzheimer's, and that's actually not true. What happens is epigenetics comes into play. So we may have some weaknesses in our genome that make us more vulnerable to certain outcomes, but it doesn't have to be that way because we can actually eat and curate our lifestyle to bolster up those shortcomings in our genome and not experience the same results as our grandparents, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. What type of foods would you say, to continue eating, and the foods that we should stop eating?
Yeah. So, number one, I know detoxing is a big thing, right? A lot of people think, I got to do a detox. I got to do a detox. What I like to promote is always be detoxing. Always be detoxing.
Like make
That
that your
means,
lifestyle.
yes, exactly. So be mindful of what you're putting in your body, first of all, and make choices that lessen your burden. Now, I think health anxiety is a real thing. People can get really over concerned about what they're putting in their body. And that's not good either. I mean, we will never be able to escape all the toxins in the world. They're being sprayed, they're in our food, they're in our clothes, they're everywhere. But the beautiful thing is that the body's so capable of handling toxins. It's amazing. So what we should do though is work with our body, work with it and lessen the burden as much as we possibly can. So, instead of using just the regular old cleaning products that may have toxic components to it, go natural. There are tons of products now on the market that offer natural solutions, but be a mindful consumer and know what you're looking for. So you can lessen your burden through your food. Of course, you can make better choices through food. Stay away from glyphosate. Stay away from products that contain glyphosate. Make sure that you're eating organic. A lot of people say, oh, organic's just more expensive. It doesn't really matter. No, it does matter. It matters for two reasons. First, you're getting a cleaner product to you, but also you're sending a loud and clear message to the marketplace. We will not change these types of things that we need to change in our health paradigm until we redirect our spending to the solutions we want.
Mhm.
So, if we're going to continue to accept a subpar, toxic, chemicalized product that is being offered in the marketplace by huge corporations, 9 of which now own over 80% of our food supply in America. So, there's 9 companies that are controlling the food supply in America now. I mean, it's pretty scary, really, because that way they can monopolize the marketplace and people buy it, even though when you talk to people, they'll say, it's not really a great product, but it's there. It's convenient. I can grab it off the shelf. They're accepting a lower standard of product just because it's convenient. So there's a huge opportunity in the marketplace for innovators of natural products and people who are being educated in this are buying more natural. And so when we do that in the masses, that is how we'll win this war against us, because we are in a war. We're in a war. Our health epidemic here in America is off the charts. We have now children that have fatty liver disease, which is something we only saw in alcoholics. And that's because we have so much sugar in our diet now. They're getting the most, so many calories a day from sugar and preservatives, seed oils, things of that nature that contribute to disease. So the marketplace will drive the solution, but we as consumers have to tap into that market and be strong and be determined that maybe we have to pay a little bit more up front. But every time we make that decision, we're sending a clear message to the marketplace that we want a better product. We want something that helps us get healthy, not something that leads us into the pharma model of disease, which is what we're
Yeah.
seeing now.
I feel like there's a small, movement. Actually, it's a quite big movement, but it's a big minority kind of movement where people are very interested in detoxing, eating healthier. Like I said, taking that, responsibility back in their own hands for their own healths. They don't trust their doctors. They're looking for alternative ways. And I feel that as this movement grows faster and bigger, it will put out all of these other big companies like Kellogg's and all these junk foods and processed foods in supermarkets out of business. And it will just drive them and it would force them to start making healthy things that we want to eat. That's organic. Or make them go bust because there will be no demand for them. There will be no marketplace for them to do that. So I think the power is in our hands. Once we're real and there's no turning back, we don't. there's no price to that. Sometimes we don't have enough money. Even the richest person doesn't have enough money to reverse the damage. And I think it's so important to invest in your body. What are your thoughts?
Oh, yes. I couldn't agree more with you, Nicholas. That's what Naturally Inspired is all about. We're trying to get that message out there. We don't have to fight in the streets. We don't even have to rely on politicians to save us. We have the power in our own hands every time we spend money in this area. We're making a choice and we're sending a message. And you're absolutely right. We're going to put these people out of business, or they're going to be forced to change, because the public's woken up now. They understand that these products are not healthy. And so I'm so excited for the future, really. I'm excited about connecting people to real solutions for health. It's a great time. It's a little
Absolutely.
painful. I'm not going to
Yeah,
lie. It's been
absolutely.
a little painful.
Let's now talk about the digital surveillance of what they want to do to enslave us. What's your concerns about this? How are they going to, if you would like to walk us through
Yes.
how are they going to implement this?
Okay, so I was born and raised in Canada. I live in Colorado now in the US, but so my whole family's in Canada. So during COVID, we saw some pretty drastic measures being taken all over. I mean, they were here in America too, but we didn't have a lot of compliance here where I am. A lot of people said, no, I'm not doing that. But in Canada, they had a very high level of compliance. In British Columbia specifically, they had vaccine passports. So they couldn't get on planes, they couldn't get on trains, they couldn't go into theaters, they couldn't go to public spaces at all unless they showed their digital passport for vaccine verification. This is terrifying. So, for someone like me who has a child who was injured by a vaccine when he was 2, I knew that this wasn't going to be a good solution for us. It was life threatening. His injury that he received, he got from the shot. So I knew, okay, we're going to have to bolster our immune systems. We're going to have to do all this stuff, and we'll take personal responsibility for our outcomes. That wasn't a factor in British Columbia because people could not go into any public spaces. So they were cast out of society simply for not complying with a vaccine that, let's remember, did not stop transmission and never claimed to stop transmission.
Mhm.
So, but people signed up for that digital passport and had no problem with it. And so that immediately led me down the road to doing a little bit more research about this technology and biotech and how that was going to tie right into centralized digital banking, and how there would be one app for every kind of verification. So this ties into your food as well, because we're leaning towards a carbon credit system where certain things will be tokenized. So everyone says, well, not everyone, but a lot of people understand, digital currency is no big deal. We already do digital banking. It's not a big thing, right? We're doing it now. No, no, we're not. This is programmable digital currency, meaning it's tokenized. So you will be assigned a certain amount of programmable currency for certain things. This enables the government to then control what kind of food you are eating based on your carbon footprint. So say they say, oh, you've used too many carbon footprints this week. You can't buy any more beef. Well, a lot of people are using the carnivore diet to control any symptoms that they get from any diseases they might have. And it's very effective.
Yeah.
Many people have resolved completely some of their diagnoses through diet, through high carnivore diet or high fat diet, eliminating carbohydrates. Like I said at the beginning of the program, everybody's an individual. And so some of us have to tailor our nutritional meals to our needs. And I don't see this programmable currency making any allowance for that. They're going to paint everybody with the same brush, just like they do in the medical model, and we'll all be, mandated to live in this way. So it's a huge issue. And I don't see that the digital surveillance system, it will affect everybody. If you think you won't be affected by it, you're not informed. You are not informed. We're talking about, and I've shared several times different clips on my show. This kind of a technology trailer video, like an up and coming. Molly wakes up in the morning. She checks in for her appointment. Her Starbucks is automatically ordered for her. She has an appointment to get her booster shot. She has this many carbon credits left on, and it's terrifying. They're tracking every single decision you make, and people should be really aware of that.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And I think that if we were to talk to any Tom, Dick, and Harry in Walmart or wherever you go in Publix or something, and you just picked a random person and you just told them this, would you submit or comply to these, to this digital medical thing? What do you think the response would be from them? Because I think people are more they're not wanting to have anything to do with the government when it comes to their personal, health, especially. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, I think that the issue now has been cracked wide open and people are at least aware of it. Here's what I'm concerned about. Um, I think that if there were an event that happened that really created, I mean, we're seeing events every day, right, Nicholas? We're seeing train derailments, certain things happening all the time. There's so much chaos in the news. At some point, people are going to have a breaking point where they just want some calm, just want some peace and some calm. And so, what I'm concerned about is that there may be some very large event that then, let's say limits your access to the internet or makes it so you can't access your bank account or something like that. And you have to submit to the digital surveillance system in order to get back online or get back, into your account. It'll come under duress because nobody's going to opt in willingly. Nobody wants every move of their life tracked and traced.
No.
But I'm worried that people not truly understanding the root cause of this movement might submit.
I know, and I'm sorry to interrupt. I was going to say that I think now that even the banks are losing power and people are moving, they're looking at other different, store of wealth facilities like, property or crypto even, or silver and gold. And I think that the banks have no power at this point. So their limit to duress is being reduced as well as we go on.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I hope I'm right too.
I do. I mean, I just find there's a lot of surprises, but I do think that we have the best thing that we have on our side is our numbers. And united non-compliance, as a friend of mine always says, united non-compliance. That's really what we have to focus on, because we do have the numbers on our side. And this thing's not going to work if everyone doesn't comply with it. And it may be, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but we'll have to hold strong, to make sure we send that clear, loud message that we're not going to submit to this. And I would look back and think, remember when COVID first started and people said, well, I just want to get back to my life. I just want to travel. I have to keep my job. Well, I would say, look at a lot of those people now and the suffering they're going through with some of the injuries that they've received from choosing to take kind of the easy path. Because there's a lot of suffering. I get emails every day, Nicholas, about people who are going through different things directly related to the choice they made. And I would say take a beat and think about that.
Yeah.
Because it may be painful in the front. We may have to go without in the front, but in the long run, it'll be, such a valuable choice we've made if we comply, we don't comply.
Absolutely. We shall not comply for sure.
Yeah.
And listen, so why don't you tell the viewers about the event that you're holding and what you're going to be, talking about at this event and what it's all about? Please. Thank you.
Yeah. So I had started a podcast back in 2019 before COVID just to spread the word about real solutions for health. I was interviewing people that had gotten through lupus and gone into remission and all different kinds of diseases naturally by changing their lifestyle and changing their diet and whatnot. So this was where my passion really lied, even before COVID. But when COVID came about, I started interviewing all kinds of doctors and people who agreed with me that there were things we could do for prevention, things like vitamin D, movement, all the different things, get outside. And so that took off, but it also came along with some censorship. So unfortunately, my podcast was highly censored on social media. I got the boot right off of Facebook. I still am not allowed on Facebook. And my social media accounts are somewhat stifled. So what I decided to do, I was offered a radio show locally on AM radio to get the word out. So I took that and I started doing a Monday through Friday show, again, spreading these solutions for real health. And it still wasn't enough. I wanted to connect with my community. So we launched the Naturally Inspired Health Summit. And that's every June. This year, it's June 1st in Loveland, Colorado. And it is going to be a fantastic event. Last year, I tell you, the vibe in there, we were just also happy to be together and to be talking about real solutions for health and empowering one another. It was such a fun day. Last year, Dr. Peter McCullough came out, Dr. Ben Tapper, Dr. Henry Ely. We had Mickey Willis from Plandemic there. It was a fantastic day. And this year we have people like Joel Salatin, the lunatic farmer. He's coming out to teach us about regenerative farming, how to do even little farming in your backyard, how to self-sustain with food. So that's going to be super exciting. And then we have Dr. Lee Merritt, who is going to be there as well. She is
Hi, yeah, your video just
yeah.
went off. There you go. Sorry about that.
that.
Don't know why that happened.
Is it still not on? Interesting. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what's happened
No
with my
worries.
video
Technical issue.
there. um, so strange. Should I just keep going with my voice, or do you want to get the
Yeah,
video?
keep going. And maybe have a look whilst you're doing that. Just
Okay.
make sure that it's selected the correct camera as well. Because sometimes if you've got another camera, it might be using the other camera. So just make sure that in the video options, you've got the correct. It selects the correct camera.
Okay. So I'll keep going here.
Yeah, that's
Sorry
fine.
about that.
That's fine. Okay,
Dr.
great.
Lee
So,
Merritt
yeah.
is going to be there as well. Dr. Lee Merritt, I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she has been talking a lot about viruses and fungus and cancer and all these different things. And I think that's the most exciting part of what's happening right now is that we're going to get down to the truth about things, and we're going to discover things might not be as awful as we've seen them. Maybe there are other solutions that we're going to get to that will bring us, real solutions for health, and might not be in the pharma model. Might not be.
No, absolutely. I'm very excited to learn more about this event that you're doing. It's very great what you're doing. And I want to leave a link below in the description so that people can sign up to your event. They can buy tickets. How do they do that? Why don't you tell us about that? I believe you're going to send me a link to leave in the description below.
Yes. So you can go to the naturallyinspiredhealthsummit.com, naturallyinspiredhealthsummit.com. You can purchase tickets there. General admission is only $50. And you can also partake in the VIP experience with just $100. And with the VIP experience, you get reserved seating, coffee and water service. It's going to be fun. Get a VIP grab bag, all of these little extras. So you can enter the summit those two ways. Also, we have 55 vendor booths going to be there as well. So you can visit and connect with all of these different vendors and providers and learn about real solutions for health. When you go to an allopathic doctor, you never get to sit and talk with them. Usually here in the United States, it's like a 10-minute visit. Here, you get an opportunity to meet your provider. And most people don't understand that a naturopathic first visit is 2 hours. They sit with you for 2 hours to learn everything about your backstory and kind of, I call them medical detectives. They like to hear your whole story so they can start to put the pieces together. And that's really an opportunity in itself that's worth $50, to be able to connect with these people and then set up an appointment later to go through that process, just being able to, see if it's a good fit for you. So it's a really unique experience. Plus, we have Del Bigtree from the High Wire going to be there. He's been a huge advocate for Real Solutions for Health for a long time. And of course, he has ICANN, his nonprofit association that helps children get healthier and stay healthy. With information to their parents about these medical interventions. So many people, so much fun. It's going to be such a great day.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Tammy. I'll leave the link below in the description so that people could learn more and they could buy the tickets. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
Nicholas, I like connecting with my audience. I give out my personal direct number all the time for text because I want to connect with you. So I'd love to give them my number. It's 720-303-8868. And just drop me the word or the words naturally inspired. And I will connect with you and send you information and see how I can connect you to Real Solutions for Health. If you're more of the type that likes to go to a website and just kind of look at people and check them out before you do that, just go to contacttammy.com. That's contacttammy.com. I really just want people to, redirect where they're making their health choices so that we can all remain free.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Tammy. And we'll speak again very soon. You take care and God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you so much.